Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Scorpio, our card tonight is the Queen of Wands. Which, oh boy, has she been through some stuff. She has. But you know what? She is most fortified. She is that change, that, excuse me, that, that being that has walked through fire, been through, the most difficult of times and not succumb to it. So this is a strong, strong archetype. One that I'm always happy to see. All right, let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And also, if you would like to hit the little like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. If you are new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comments. Okay. So the first thing I saw is it looks like we have a G right up here, okay? Now, I know this is not, it looks more like an L, but to me, it's reading as J, okay? So a G and a J. We also have a large M or an E right down here. So we have G, J, and E or M, depending on what makes sense to you. We also have 72 as a number. Okay. So I feel, I feel very deeply that this has to do with family. We have a plane up here, okay? An aeroplane in the sky. We also have a long table. We have people sitting at the table on either end. We also have a person here. We have a person here that looks like they're standing on the table. We have a chair over here that is empty. Okay, so maybe somebody who has departed. This feels like a chaotic, I don't know, maybe it's like a holiday. This is maybe a gathering of family, something that is bringing you all together. It does not feel so much like a sad event, so not really a funeral, but something that's bringing you home. Okay, now it might be that you're actually getting on a plane and flying home. It might be that you're going down the street. Maybe mom and dad live at the end of the street. I don't know. But there is some travel to somebody else's home, to a place where you all are going to convene. And it does. It feels very animated. I feel like you maybe come from a family that, you're a little bit loud. Everybody's kind of, joking and arguing, not afraid to be themselves around one another. And I think that you love this, and you also do not look forward to it, because I think that you kind of internalize a lot of this chaotic energy. And I feel like, yeah, it can kind of create a little bit of turmoil, emotional turmoil for you. I'm imagining as when you were a child, I feel like there were a lot of times where you just were seeking quiet and solitude. You were looking for, well, and I keep seeing kind of looking through books, like laying on the floor, and maybe you had like one of those sets of encyclopedias they used to sell like door to door, right? And some of us, I had like 3 of them. I never had the full set. But I did. I remember, I think I had like M and maybe it was like LMN, I feel like. But anyways, and I think we got them at the thrift store. But I can imagine you being a kid that would sit and go through these kinds of books. Or maybe it was like one of those really cool ones. They had them at school. They were on a subject and they had pictures. What were those called? They were like, they were science books. I'm trying to look it up because these books, I loved them. They were always so popular in school. And they were, I think they sold them. Oh, they were these books, the history, or what are they called? This one kind of looks like, oh, here they are. The Eyewitness Books series, if you remember those. Go look them up if you don't. But they had pages with like full color, they were full color images of things. And so, whatever the topic, maybe it was like on Greece, right? Or the Greeks, and page after page of different things, art, the foods they ate, the clothes they wore, all this kind of stuff. And I can imagine there were times where you really just wanted to escape into your own world of, not only learning, researching, exploring these many topics, I imagine, but it kind of led to a really intense fantasy world, I think. A place where your imagination was really developed, and still, I think to this day, you have a very rich interior world and ability to access your imagination deeply, which a lot of people, as we get older, right, into our adulthood, we abandon this need for imagination. We think, oh, this is frivolous, this is silly. Daydreaming and just kind of wasting your time thinking about things that'll never happen. No. The imagination is the key to all doors. The imagination is one of the most holy and divine tools that we have, and it speaks to what lies below the fabric of our kind of shared reality, right? We get to the edges, the borders of our waking life, and the threads get pretty loose. And I'm a huge fan of imagination. I talk a lot on here about, techniques like active imagination. There is an author, there's a few, but one that I really am profoundly moved by, who is a man whose name was Henry Corbin, right? And he researched deeply Sufism, particularly practitioners in Iran, and a beautiful series of works. He was French, so but you can find them translated, all of his big works. Now, there's a lot of lesser things and papers have not been translated, but he works kind of in the same realm as Jung, right? And talks very deeply about not only imagination, but things like color and sound and the symbolisms and things that just are very, now a lot of it has to do with, yes, Sufism, which is an element of Islam, okay? So, but it expands over into a lot of these kind of European traditions, the love traditions and troubadours and, you know, all this kind of, because there were times in history where, yeah, there were a lot of, wars and Muslims in Spain and France and the surrounding Mediterranean countries. So, I'm going on a tangent here. But yeah, so imagination, very important. If you're looking for somebody to look into Henry Corbin. I absolutely, I could get lost in talking about these people. Teresa of Avila, Jung, James Hillman, the imagination is something that gets us anywhere. Right? But there's this real turn towards the material world and materialism, not to be confused with this idea, oh, you're materialistic. You just, you're obsessed with things. That's not what materialism is. It is somebody who dwells in the material world. They reject the ideas of the beyond, the spiritual, the supernatural, parapsychology, these kinds of things. So, as we get older, yeah, we do. We turn towards, more of a materialism. And it is. We're busy. We exist in the material world and we have to kind of upkeep our lives. But I do feel, Scorpio, and I know we've gone the long way here, you're somebody who really needs your imagination. You need that interior space, and you have kept it with care. You have not abandoned it or forsaken it or, walled it up and put bricks around it and, closed it off. Not at all. No. And I think that, a lot of this has to do with maybe growing up in a busy family, a chaotic environment, and maybe that wasn't bad. Maybe it was, you had siblings, a lot of siblings, there are a lot of extended family members in and out, just like I said, people talking loud and always something going on and, navigating the emotions of different people. And it kind of just created this independence in you, this ability to go off and do your own thing. And so as you get closer and closer to this kind of family event or reunion or, holiday or whatever it is, maybe you're going on a vacation together, I do feel you returning to this kind of going into self a little bit, right? This is how you remain fortified. And so, I think this is always a good time to make use of this in-between place that you kind of get into. As we go deeper into our imagination, even if it is a coping mechanism, this is where we meet the muse. The muse becomes quite important to us, right? It is kind of just dissociation if we're not kind of indulging in those visions, those fantasies, those daydreams, that kind of creative emanation laboratory that we go into. If not that, then it's kind of just like staring at the wall, right? And so maybe sketching or jotting down or starting up the diary again, or whatever it is, while you're going through these periods of time where, yeah, there maybe is kind of this pressure that builds around being this close to people, and then kind of turning into self, and you're more in that fantasy world or that spiritual realm, these kind of dream worlds, or wherever it is you go, whatever you like to call it, really. And and taking account of it. Ultimately down the road, these will be, looking back, we look back and we think, gosh, those are really potent times for my creativity, for my inspiration. And we don't, I don't know. This is the Virgo in me. But we should not squander these opportunities, right? So let's take a look. We also have, it looks like, I am imagining this as a lock, like a keyhole. Now, I also feel like we have part of a key here. So I do feel that this is a place where, yeah, even though it might feel stressful, it might not be where where you want to be. Exactly. You always want to kind of indulge in family to some degree, but then it's, again, here's my connection with Scorpio and Virgo. And actually, one of my good friends of the channel here, she had commented, somebody said that, or she read somewhere, or maybe she came up with it, I don't know, but that Scorpio is the evil twin of Virgo. And maybe that is so. Maybe that is so. Although I don't necessarily believe in evil. Maybe the more interesting sibling of Virgo. But yeah, I do feel like you're getting to this place where, it might feel like a lot. You don't want to be there, but you do want to be there, but you don't want to be there. And this real creative side of you kind of comes up, right? This is your saving grace. And it unlocks a part of you that really gets you going. I really feel like this next period of time will only be more potent. There will be only more motivation because, I feel like sometimes it's just a little bit of a jump start, right? You're around these people who you love. You don't necessarily see them all that often, or maybe you see them a lot, but, you just... you're not as engaged all the time. Not everybody's together, but here you find yourself kind of in this space where there's a lot of, old and new energies coming together. And so, I feel this is kind of your unlocking that place within yourself so that you can do this work. Now, I also see we have a dragon here. So that tells me in this next period of time, for the next, 6 months, as we are still in the year of the dragon, which goes into, I don't know, a couple months into 2025. But I feel you really having some definite movement towards the success that you want to see for yourself. And I think a lot of it has to do with being productive. I think that there's absolutely this big part of yourself that wants to heal and evolve as a being and do this intricate self-work, which you are doing. But there's also a part of you that wants to make money, that wants to make sure that you're building the career that you want, that you are maybe you started a business or a side hustle, or maybe you're post work and you're volunteering, or you're, doing some, part-time work to kind of supplement the income, or whatever it is. You're putting your all into it, and I think that you are there, you're showing up for yourself, you're activated. And even though, you know, maybe this event or this whatever it is that's happening, like I said, it could be a vacation. It could be, you know, you're just going home for a few days to see the family or whatever. But I feel like even though it maybe feels like a disruption in your routine and you're not super excited about that, I think it's something that will end up being quite a blessing. You know, I feel like there's a sense of becoming a little refocused here. And so that's not a bad thing at all. Definitely not. This is going to end up being your year, right? It's maybe been a little bit of a slow start, but my goodness, I really feel like it all coming together. Now, we also have this person sitting here, and there's a dog like running to leap into your lap, you know? And I do feel that there is such a closeness with somebody in your life. And I think this is a friendship. And I feel like this is also where you kind of derive a lot of comfort, right? I feel like this is somebody that you really have such a deep soul connection with. And so as you are going through this kind of shift in your story, this little bend in your path, this friendship will be important. So continue, you know, to put time and energy into it, because I think it is quite important. It is sustaining in ways that maybe you don't realize fully. We also have a large P. I just want to point out also. Or what did we say that was? Oh, the G. Now it looks like a P on this side. Yeah. Yes, that's what it looks like. That's what it is. It's a G and a P. Okay, so we have a person in a boat. We have, it looks like a goose flying overhead. We also have a flag planted. It looks like it says ERA, like era. ERA. We have a flower. Okay, so getting in that boat, and it does look like kind of more like a little canoe or something. I feel this just, there's like a little bit of you pushing back. I don't want things to change. I'm just getting into a good place. I just want to stay steady here, get things built up. I need consistency. Now the world is kind of happening and you're kind of needing to break that consistency to do some other things. And yeah, it might be even so brief, but it's still, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go. But let's see. Sometimes, you know, even in our resistance, and even if we feel like, oh, this other thing that I have to do, you will be so surprised, right? And I feel like this is a place where there are blessings in, and it's not even trouble. I don't think this is trouble. I think it's just inconvenient, right? So I feel like there's going to be, you know, a sense of really witnessing that this is a blessing, okay? Now with the goose, it is the migration. And there is a sense of, going out in the world, doing the thing, but returning home and really, really excelling in whatever you're putting your mind to, okay? Sometimes we got to go out there and we got to collect our energies and bring them on home, right? And so we also have the flag planted. So I do feel like it's like returning to your domain, having really conquered, you know, some aspect of your life and continuing to work on this kind of campaign towards success, into furthering your empire, and so on. Okay, so we also have the Flower, and I just feel there is a sense of overall peace and ease in your life, but that fiery motivation. Okay, you know, and all I would say about that is just check in with yourself that you're not overdoing, that you're not getting into a place of kind of, you know, almost like a manic energy, because it can, you know, especially somebody that is really passionate about what they're working on and kind of gets like, you know, the blinders on and you're super hyper focused, and, you know, you burn yourself out. So make sure that you are adhering to your routines and your self-care and all of these things. The biggest thing for all of us, but yeah, especially real fiery energies like a Scorpio, getting the sleep that you need, making sure that you have a healthy sleep schedule, not skimping and doing 2 or 3 hours a night here and there, making sure that you're getting your full sleep. Okay, that's I think that's so important. And let's see, we're going to do our divine doors. I'm going to go ahead and flip through and stop where it feels right. Oh yes, I love this one with the green. Absolutely. Yesterday I was talking to my daughter about my favorite colors. What are your favorite colors, by the way? I would love to hear. Mine are, and I didn't know this, but I found out recently, mine are like super stereotypical for being a Virgo. But black. I wear lots of black. Most of my clothes are black, although I do bring out some color here and there. Black, brown, green. Those are my colors. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's... I was reading about how these are colors that Virgos like. And I'm like, wow, I'm just not as cool as I thought. I'm just very stereotypical. But yeah, what are the colors of Scorpio? For some reason, what immediately came to mind are like hyper colors, but I know that's like ridiculous. Maybe it's not. If you remember what hyper colors are, then we've aged ourselves, right? So let's go ahead and turn this around. It says, a note on love. Seek different seasons and enter into the unknown. When love is the focus, foundation, and goal, blessed is the body, mind, and soul. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it does. It absolutely. Sometimes, you know, we get stuck. We try to hold on to the season. We want it to be, you know, summer forever, fall forever, and we can't. Things will move as they move, and you know, it's the love that sees us through, isn't it? All right. Okay, Scorpio, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, I would love to hear everything that you have to say, especially what is your favorite color. And if you're new to the channel, definitely shout out that you're watching for the first time. So anyways, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night. Good night. Good night.